Let it flow from the throne. Oh, your love shine. Let it flow from the throne. Oh, your blood covers me. Let it flow from your throne. Your holy presence covers me. Praise you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Praise God. Praise God. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, John.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Guys, tonight, I want to let you in on my world a little bit. John, can I use your pulpit?
You sure can. I didn't turn it off, so be careful. Might be playing a song.
I will let you into my world a little bit for the purpose of distribution. You know, I've discovered that one of the ways you keep a minister humble is you just have him preach what he's going through or growing through. Now, if I start preaching on homosexuality, I'll go ahead and give you a disclaimer now. I'm a 19-year-old, so I don't deal with that. But, so I'm saying not every single time you hear a minister ministering to something, he's going through it. But as a general rule of thumb, you can kind of figure that out. But tonight, I want to talk to you about assignments. And it's probably a little different than what you're thinking or about what you've heard or maybe thought of before, but maybe not. So the word that came to me was assignments. I was dealing with a situation in my life recently, and I was looking back over the last 2 or 3 years, and I noticed that a certain series of events seemed to consistently reappear in my present circumstances. Now, I don't believe that every difficulty that you face in life is a devil. I don't go casting devils out of doorknobs and off of bookshelves. I mean, if you told me to, I would. You know, cars break down because they have 400,000 miles on them. You can't call that a devil. That's just called natural wear and tear. But when the washer breaks, the dryer breaks, the microwave explodes, the electrical system shorts, you might want to start thinking about casting a devil out of something somewhere or binding something up. Okay, so that's kind of my disclaimer tonight. And in my transportation situation, I noticed that just before I came down here, I had 3 vehicles, okay, for the purpose of not having just one, but having 3. So that if one did go out, I would have a backup, and if the backup went out, I'd have a 3rd. And I'd gone to Africa a couple, 2, 3 times in India, and right about the time that started happening, things started happening in the vehicles, almost simultaneously, till all 3 of the engines blew, all 3 vehicles. And then I got down here, and I was still trying to lose a bunch of weight. I've lost 24, 25 pounds. I've got another 24, 25 to go. So I was on bicycles, because it was just, I would not get exercise any other way because of the way that I do things. Well, then I got hit on the bike on my birthday. Then the bike was stolen at the library under lock and key in broad daylight in Dunedin, which is kind of a okay neighborhood, you know, not North Greenwood. And then recently the same thing happened. And I was walking around my neighborhood praying in tongues, thinking to myself, the buck stops here. It just stops right now. Mr. Nice Guy, it's time to disappear. It's time to go Hulk and Goliath on the devil. And just stop it right here. And then the Spirit of God started showing me things about people in my world and people I know. And I started noticing similar situations in their stories. It wasn't necessarily transportation, though maybe it is. But I noticed, just from what I would gather from people down here in the short time I've been here, I began to see patterns in people's lives. And I thought to myself, this would be a great message to preach. And not only that, but I had the witness of the Spirit on it. I believe He gave me the title, Assignments. And so what I want to do tonight is talk to you about how to overcome the devil's plan for your life. You might not realize it, but he has a plan for your life. You also might not realize you can change his will. You're not at the mercy of the devil's will. Not only does he have a plan, but I'm going to share with you some things, if we can get into it this first class, if not, maybe in another class 2, if we don't get to it tonight, whatever. But it's very specific. It's deadly, it's precise, it's planned, it's devious, and sometimes it appears like an angel of light. Sometimes it's under your nose and you have no idea. And you could just ask Paul, because he was several days before he cast the spirit of divination out of the damsel, who was walking around with him saying, "These men are of the Most High God." Had he known a devil was speaking through her, immediately he would have rebuked it and cast it out of her. But it was several days before the Spirit revealed to him that thing's the devil. And then the devil is saying, "These men are of the Most High God." Who wouldn't want cheerleaders like that? So, I'll give you an example. I was in training camp. I played semi-pro basketball until I was about 28 on 3 different teams, some Christian, some secular. On the Christian teams, the purpose was to play large universities, colleges, anybody that would give us a game. In our off-season, we played prison all-star teams. You can imagine how that was. It was fun. You've never been fouled until you've gone up for a dunk on somebody in prison. Yeah, and the referees are transvestites, so that was fun. But anyway, I was in training camp. It is Chick-fil-A Day, right? Yeah.
Close.
So I was in training camp, and this is just me. I'm always a people person. I'm always trying to share Jesus to people and His love and stuff. Not just the knowledge, knowledge puffs up, but the love of God. That's what causes your faith to work. And so that's a word for somebody. Somebody's believing God for something right now. You know all the scriptures, you know all that stuff. And the Lord's saying, check up on your love. Check up on your love walk. That's what's going to activate that faith. And it's not even that you're not walking in love towards somebody, but maybe just go extra. Just sow some extra love seeds. Some Ephesians 3:20. Radical above and beyond what you could ask or think or dream seeds. That'll cause that faith harvest to come. But anyway, to offset the cost of the Christian team I was playing on, they housed us in training camp in large Christian homes in Memphis, Tennessee. And I was in a 3-story house, and this guy, I was sharing it with his teenage son, his bedroom, and the bedroom was as big as really just about this whole area of the house, all the way to that window back there. And I noticed that he was a really quiet kid. He just didn't have a whole lot to say. When I saw him, he didn't have anything to say. And he went to Memphis Christian Brothers High School. His dad's a Christian commercial airline pilot. But he just always seemed to avoid me. And so I always make a point before I go to bed at night to read my Bible. So I have that going on in my head instead of crazy things like Jason and Freddy Krueger. And so this kid, one particular night, he was already asleep. I got in late. I'd leave early. And we had a game the next night against the University of Tennessee at Martin, a small Division I school. About 10,000 students go there. And so I was praying, and they'd asked me to share my testimony at halftime of that game. And so I was praying and studying, and this kid, he just levitated in bed. Right? The moonlight was coming in, I could see him, and he did like a girl push-up, on the knees. His arms were straight to his side, and his torso just levitated like that. And I realize I'm in America, and there isn't a devil, and no one in America believes in the devil, of course, but you guys. But there is a devil, and a lot of Americans really want to explain everything.